Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Our program will begin in 1 minute. We'd like to ask everyone to please settle down and take their seats. We'll be starting shortly. For our on-site participants, we have exhibits and photo booth outside and will be available for you to visit and enjoy later. To honor the nation, please rise for the singing of the Philippine National Anthem.
Bayang magiliw, perlas ng silanganan, hanap ng puso, sa dibdib mo'y buhay.
Lumang hinirang, duyan ka ng magiting.
Sa manlulupi, di ka masisingil.
Sa dagat ang tulong, sa simoy at sa langit mong lugaw. May dilag ang tula at awit sa paglayang minamahal.
Ang islap ng watawat mo'y tagumpay na nagdidingding.
Ang bituin at araw niya kailan pa may di magdidilim.
Tumarang araw ng buwan, aking pagsilang, tuloy ay langit sa piling mo. Sa piling mo, ang ligaya na pagkay panalig.
Ang mamatay ng dahil sa'yo.
You may now take your seats. Good morning, everyone. How are you today? Yeah, I'm Melinda Quinones, the manager of the Research and Information Department of the PIDS. And to officially welcome us to today's annual Public Policy Conference, let us hear from the President of the Philippine Institute for Development Studies, Dr. Philip Arnold P. Tuaño.
Good morning, distinguished guests, colleagues, and friends. On behalf of the Philippine Institute for Development Studies, I warmly welcome you to the 11th Annual Public Policy Conference, or APPC, the main event of the 23rd Development Policy Research Month, or DPRM. Whether you are here in the New World Makati Hotel or joining us online, thank you for being part of this important gathering. The observance of DPRM, established under Proclamation Number 247 of 2002, is more than a tradition. It is a national commitment to place evidence-based research at the heart of policymaking. In an era of rapid technological, economic, and social change, decisions cannot rest on intuition alone. The APPC, our DPRM flagship, was created to convene leaders from government, the academe, civil society, the private sector, and the international community so that research can inform action on the country's most pressing policy challenges. Throughout September, partner agencies, local government units, universities, and NGOs nationwide are organizing activities that broaden the reach of research and policy conversations closer to communities. By celebrating DPRM, we reaffirm a future where public policies are not only rigorous, but inclusive, sustainable, and forward-looking. Let me express our gratitude to Secretary Arsenio Balisacan of the Department of Economy, Planning and Development, or DepDev, and Chair of the Board of Trustees of the PIDS, who will deliver our keynote address in today's conference. We thank him for his presence today to share his thoughts and the support that he has provided in preparations for this event. I also wish to thank our plenary speakers, discussants, and moderators whose expertise will guide our reflections on this year's theme, Reimagining Governance in the Age of AI, which is both urgent and forward-looking. As we all know, the rapid pace of technological advancement has led to the exponential growth of artificial intelligence. AI is now an enabler of connections, a driver of knowledge creation, and a catalyst for adaptation in nearly every field. In 2024, global corporate AI investment reached over $252 billion. By 2034, the World Economic Forum projects that AI in government could unlock nearly $10 trillion in public value through faster services, greater transparency, and smarter use of resources. AI is becoming more and more integrated also into our everyday lives, from the way we communicate, learn, and consume services, to how economies and governments operate. The policy note issued by the DepDev on AI earlier this year noted that it has the potential to drive economic growth by enhancing productivity and fostering greater innovation, and at the same time strengthen vital sectors such as the labor market, education, healthcare, and finance. Yet realizing these benefits is far from automatic. A recent PIDS study reminds us that AI adoption remains highly uneven. Firms in metropolitan and ICT-intensive industries are moving ahead, but those in less urbanized and more remote regions continually face significant barriers. These include gaps in connectivity, particular access to high-quality, high-bandwidth internet, shortages of AI-literate managers and staff, limited awareness of AI technologies among small and medium enterprises outside the ICT sector. Cost is another hurdle, with many firms unable to afford tools or expertise that they need. Moreover, the Philippines has strong laws on data protection and privacy. We still lack clear ethical guidelines to ensure fairness, accountability, and transparency in these AI systems. If AI is to serve a genuine driver of inclusive development, we must close these gaps. We must invest in infrastructure and skill, build awareness and capacity across all regions, and craft ethical frameworks to safeguard citizens while fostering innovation. Above all, we must design AI systems that are inclusive and context-specific, attuned to our own realities while ensuring that the Philippines plays an active role in shaping the emerging architecture of global AI governance. For the opening plenary this morning that will help us understand the necessary policy frameworks and regulations that govern AI, I would like to thank our speaker, Professor Chris Lamont, Tokyo International University and Deputy Head of the Program for AI Governance, Global Governance Institute in Brussels, as well as our discussants, Mr. Nato Kanehira, Senior Digital Development Specialist, Digital Development Global Practice, the World Bank, Ms. Mary Grace Mirandilla Santos, Independent ICT Policy Researcher, and Ms. Arifa Sharifuddin, Institute Director, Tech for Good Institute, for their presentations. The plenary sessions later this afternoon will examine AI's implication across key domains of development, energy issues, the fight against corruption, and care societies to support aging populations. These are issues facing many developing countries, such as the Philippines, and it is hoped that these discussions will help in rethinking current practices in order to be able to harness the opportunities from the greater use of AI. For the first afternoon session on energy and AI, I would like to extend my thanks to our speaker, Dr. Marnie Shaw, Associate Professor and Deputy Director of the School of Engineering, the Australian National University, who will join us online. Attorney Mona Lisa Dimulanta, former Chairperson, Energy Regulatory Commission. Attorney Norman Ocana III, Government Affairs and Sustainable Leader, Schneider Electric Philippines. And Dr. Roy Francis Navea, full professor of the De La Salle University. They will tackle the opportunities that AI brings in the critical infrastructure in our country, energy and power. While AI can strengthen the efficiency in production, distribution, and consumption of energy, challenges such as the sustainable use of resources, such as land, water, are issues that are important to understand. I would also then like to send my appreciation for our speakers in the second afternoon session on the fight against corruption and the use of AI. This include Jacopo Costa, Senior Specialist, Prevention, Research and Innovation, Basel Institute on Governance, Justice Conchita Carpio Morales, former Ombudsman and Supreme Court Associate Justice, Dean Heidi Mendoza, Good Governance Advocate, former Undersecretary General, United Nations, Office of the Internal Oversight Services, and former Commissioner of the Philippines Commission on Audit. Our distinguished speakers will explore how AI can become a powerful tool to promote accountability, enhance oversight, and detect irregularities, a particular timely issue given recent concerns about corruption in our public infrastructure. At the same time, they will remind us that AI is not immune from misuse, and without proper safeguards, it can just be easily turned into an instrument for malfeasance and manipulation. Likewise, my thanks to our speakers in the third afternoon session on AI and Aging, including Dr. Grace Cruz, Professor of Demography and Director of the UP Population Institute, UP Diliman, Dr. Shelly Ann de la Vega, Professor and Director of the Institute of Aging of the National Institute of Health, UP Manila, Angel Garcia, Research Assistant Professor, also of the Institute of Aging, and the discussant, Dr. Gracian Cuanco, Retired Professor, College of Education, UP Diliman. While AI can strengthen health, welfare, and protection systems, also at the same time, it should address traditions and culture in the provision of care and address gaps in the workforce and issues on inclusion where connectivity is weak. We will close with a synthesis, and we're honored there by the presence of Undersecretary Lea Bendia of the Department of Science and Technology. I would also like to thank our session moderators, Mr. Keith Detros, Program Manager, Tech for Good Institute, Mike Oreta, Lead Business Anchor, Billionaire News Channel, Michelle Cristil Ong, News Anchor, ABS-CBN News Channel, and Dr. Ricky Rosales, News Anchor, DZMM Radio Patrol sa Estrenta. A feature of this APPC this year is the provision of fireside chats outside the plenary hall that will enable participants to dive deeper into some of the issues that are being tackled in the plenary sessions. We thank Dr. Manuel Dime, Associate Professor of the Camarines State University, who has agreed to moderate these chats. We also thank our organizing partner, the Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas, whose support has been invaluable these past years. Also thanks to the PIDS Vice President Marife Ballesteros and the PIDS Scientific Committee, composed of Dr. Chris Francisco, Dr. Adora Navarro, and Dr. Aubrey Tabuga, who tireless work on the conference concept, invited the various speakers and the actors, made sure that the program would be substantive, relevant, and responsive to the most pressing policy issues of our time. My sincerest appreciation also to different units of the PIDS, including the dedicated production team of the Research Information Department led by our host, Ms. Mel Quinones, for ensuring the success of the APPC and our other activities during the DPRM, and also for strengthening the visibility of DPRM in public areas across the metropolis and also across the country. I would also like to thank my co-workers at the PIDS, including the Administrative and Finance Department, the Research Services Department, and our Information and Communication Technology Services Division, for assisting us in the smooth conduct of this year's conference. This conference is part of a series of events under the DPRM, and look forward to other upcoming activities, including next week's BARM Public Policy Conference, the Mindanao Public Policy Conference, and various presentations and policy workshops in government agencies and academic institutions that will happen in the coming weeks. Last year, we asked how the Philippines can navigate global megatrends to strengthen the middle class. This year, we asked, how can we design governance systems that are adaptive, ethical, and inclusive in the age of AI? given our constraints, our values, and our ambitions as a developing country. We hope that today's discussions inspire not only deeper understanding, but also concrete policy actions to inform policies and programs. We aspire that AI becomes a tool for inclusive growth and democratic renewal, one that expands opportunity, strengthens accountability, and upholds human dignity, so that intelligent technologies truly uplift the lives of all Filipinos. Thank you, and I wish all a productive and enlightening conference. Magandang umaga po sa ating lahat.
Thank you, Dr. Tuaño. To deliver the keynote message, allow me to introduce our speaker. He is the Secretary of the Department of Economy, Planning and Development, serving as the nation's chief economist and principal advisor to the President and Cabinet on economic and social development. He previously chaired the Philippine Competition Commission, served as Dean of the UP School of Economics, and has worked extensively with global institutions such as the World Bank, ADB, OECD, and the UN. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my honor to welcome our keynote speaker, Dr. Arsenio M. Balisacan.
Dr. Arnold Tuaño, President, former PIDS Presidents Mario Lamberte and Aniceto Babes Orbeta Jr., here if David, former ombudsman here. Or other esteemed speakers, panelists, moderators from the academe, government, and private sector, guests, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. It is a privilege to join you at the 11th Annual Public Policy Conference, the culminating event of the 23rd Development Policy Research Month. I thank PIDS and our partner agencies for organizing this important forum where research and evidence shape policies and where bold ideas can be transformed into practical steps to address our nation's pressing challenges. We gather at a defining moment. The theme, Reimagining Governance in the Age of AI, could not be more timely. AI is no longer a distant prospect. It is here, reshaping economies, transforming governments, and altering the fabric of everyday life. Governments worldwide are learning to harness AI for smarter services, faster responses, and more inclusive systems. As noted earlier by President Randy, the World Economic Forum projects that integrating digital technologies into public administration would unlock $9.8 trillion in public value through efficiency, transparency, and sustainability. The Philippines is prepared to be part of this transformation. Our digital economy has grown from just 1.6 trillion pesos in 2018 to 2.1 trillion pesos in 2024, outpacing many traditional industries. In 2024, we climbed 9 places in the Oxford Global AI Readiness Index scoring 58.5, well above the global average of 47.6. These gains affirm that Filipinos are not only adopting technology, we are shaping it to secure our future. Much has already been achieved. The National Innovation Agenda and Strategy Development, ISD, aligned with the Philippine Development Plan 2023 to 2028, positions innovation as a central driver of growth. The Department of Trade and Industry's AI Strategy Roadmap 2.0 established the Center for AI Research, while the Department of Education ensures that AI knowledge flows into our schools. The Department of Science and Technology's DIMER project makes ready-to-use AI models available for agriculture, disaster response, and industry, lowering barriers for local stakeholders. The Department of Information and Communications Technology, through its Spark initiative, partnership with Google, Coursera, and others, is scaling up free AI training nationwide. These are important milestones. Yet, as UNESCO reminds us, progress is often slowed by fragmented rules, limited research capacity, and uneven access. Technology alone cannot fix governance gaps. The Department of Economy, Planning and Development's policy note on artificial intelligence, published earlier this year, highlights three urgent challenges: fragmented governance across agencies, inconsistent data practices that weaken innovation, and a workforce not fully prepared for an AI-driven economy. The recommendations are clear: build a unified national AI strategy, expand digital infrastructure, strengthen data governance, and develop human capital. In other words, leadership, infrastructure, data, and talent must converge if you are to transform AI's promise into practice. Let me highlight three areas where action is most urgent. First is infrastructure for inclusion. Today, more than 88.5 million Filipinos can access their digital national ID through eGov.ph, with nearly 55 million physical cards already delivered. The national fiber backbone connects 6 regions and over 17 million people, with satellite internet extending to remote islands. The newly enacted Konektadong Pinoy Act introduces reforms to increase competition in telecommunications, reduce cost, expand access. These investments ensure that connectivity reaches not only urban centers, but also the most far-flung barangays. Second is investing in people. President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. has endorsed the National AI Upskilling Roadmap, a public-private partnership designed to prepare students and workers with the skills demanded by industry. Technology matters most when it is accessible to all, when it empowers workers to see AI as a ladder of opportunity, not a threat to livelihoods. Third is governing with ethics and trust. Innovation without integrity is dead end. Last year, the DICT and the Civil Service Commission issued joint guidelines on ethical and trustworthy AI in government, safeguarding transparency, accountability, and democracy in our administrative systems. These principles resonate strongly with the sub-themes of this conference. Consider energy, AI can forecast demand, balance renewable resources or sources, and optimize power grids. Yet, it is also energy intensive. For example, a single ChatGPT query consumes nearly 10 times the electricity of a Google search. Without green standards, data centers could consume over 3% of global energy by 2030. Our policies must anticipate this by promoting efficient technologies and green AI practices. Consider good governance. AI can detect anomalies in procurement, reduce bureaucratic friction, and prevent fraud. With tools like eGov PH and the National ID, the foundations are in place. The challenge now is embedding AI in oversight systems that strengthen, not weaken, public trust. And consider an aging society. By 2030, the Philippines will have a significantly older population. AI-enabled assistive technologies can enhance health or healthcare, social inclusion, and lifelong learning. But cost and access remain barriers, requiring government actions. Here, policy must step in. For example, through subsidizing AI-enabled health services, reskilling older workers, and ensuring no one is excluded from the digital economy. The opportunities are clear, and the gaps are evident. The challenge is to translate vision into results. Allow me to leave you with 5 commitments. Expand inclusive digital infrastructure to connect every Filipino. Strengthen human capital through education, reskilling, and partnerships. Enhance governance frameworks rooted in ethics and trust. Foster collaboration across government, academe, private sector, and civil society. And govern with foresight and equity, ensuring AI narrows divides instead of deepening them. The age of AI is not about replacing humanity. It is about enriching it. It is about combining human and artificial intelligence to make governance inclusive, transparent, and resilient. Let us not remain spectators as the world advances. Let us lead with vision, build with purpose, and innovate with heart. Together, we can reimagine governance in the age of AI and ensure that it works for every Filipino. Thank you, and may this conference inspire the policy innovations that our nation urgently needs. Mabuhay.
Thank you, Secretary Balisacan, for setting the tone for today's important conversation. Before we proceed, allow us to capture this moment with Secretary Balisacan and PIDS President Tuaño. May we request everyone to please stand from where you are. Please go at the center so that we can take the photo together. All the officers may be requested to come forward. And the Airbox team, please come up front to assist us in documenting this momentous occasion. Please take center stage. Move forward. Sir, is it okay if I request you to go front? Is it okay if I request you to please compress? Come closer. Come closer, everyone. Those of you who are at the back, please come forward. Careful. Closer, everyone. On their cue. Smile, everyone. Closer, please. You wave. Thank you, everyone.